ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवगौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। ॐ नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we have completed up to the 21st verse of the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Today we will see verse number 22. So this is a very beautiful verse, and this is we can say that it is one of the favorite verses of every devotee for that matter, because in this particular verse actually Krishna speaks about how a pure devotee acts, and also what Krishna does for that devotee, or what Krishna feels for that devotee. That is revealed in this particular verse. So how Krishna reciprocates to his pure devotees, and what actually it means to be a pure devotee of the Lord, that we can see. In the 20th and 21st verse, we saw how you can achieve heavenly planets and have heavenly delights there, have heavenly sense pleasure, which are multifold times more pleasurable than pleasures of this world. We have discussed that in the previous session. So in this particular verse, on the contrary, we will see that how Krishna in the 20th verse, he says that actually people who want to attain heavenly kingdom also, they also worship me only, but in an indirect way. But for what do they worship? It is because they want to achieve heavenly delights. They want to go to the heaven. That's why they are worshipping, but in an indirect way, by studying the 3 Vedas, and after that trying to drink the soma juice, and doing sacrifices, yagya, and all those things. Why? Because they want to attain heavenly kingdoms. So they are also worshipping me only, Krishna says. But now in this particular verse, Krishna will say that how there are people who directly worship me, and actually this is the right way of worship. This is actually bhakti. And how do we know that? Because in the 23rd verse, that is the next verse, which will be discussed in a later session, we will see that that contrast. Krishna will reveal there that how worship of different devatas apart from Krishna are actually avidhi purvakam, or they are not direct, they are worshipped in a wrong way, but they are actually worshipping Krishna only, something like that. We will discuss later. So in the 22nd verse, it is a very special verse. That's why I thought that I will dedicate this particular video only for this particular verse. It's a very beautiful verse. Ananyāścintayento mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Ananyāścintayanto mam. Krishna says that there are some people, some special souls who do ananyāścinta. Ananya means one pointed, not going here and there, or you can say that they have no other objects. Anya means other. Anya bolte, we say like a stranger, or a stranger is called Anya, or a person who is not of our own is called Anya. Or we can say that Anya means something else. Like if there is an object of concentration and there is something else on which your mind is going, you say that it is a distraction, right? So that distraction is nothing but your mind going to Anya Vastu, right? Different from your object of concentration or meditation. So Ananya means it is a negation, right? Ananya means your mind is not going anywhere, but it is fixed on that one object. So Ananyāścinta, what are these special souls doing? They are doing Ananya Chinta. Their mind is completely absorbed in something, right? And they are not deviating from that place. They are fixed there, and on whom their mind is absorbed, Krishna is saying mam, which means Ananyāścintayanto mam means that the devotees of the Lord, or those special souls that Krishna is mentioning in this verse, they are such that they have no other object of worship. There is no other object of thought for them. They don't even think of other things. They but only think of Krishna. Ananyāścintayanto mam. So they don't surrender their lives to anyone else. They don't think of anyone else. Their only object of worship is Krishna. Ananyāścintayanto mam, Krishna says, on Krishna, right? So now when Krishna is saying mam here, so Krishna is saying me. So my devotees, they think of me always, without deviation. That is what Krishna is saying. So here we should understand that the personal aspect of Krishna, we should be very clear that here the devotee thinks of the Supreme Lord in a personal aspect. Not that, somebody who is meditating on the formless, or the impersonal Brahman. We cannot really say that Krishna is mentioning those people here. Why? Because Krishna is saying that they are continuously thinking of me, like that. So that personal aspect is present here. So, and bhakti means it should be personal. You cannot have devotion to something which is formless. Bhakti is a reciprocation. Devotional service is nothing but exchange of love, and you exchange love with a person, and that person is Krishna. So we should understand that Ananyāścintayanto mam means worshipping and thinking constantly of Krishna without deviation of mind towards anything, or having no other object of thinking other than Krishna himself, right? Ananyāścintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate. Now janaha refers to those people, jana, people. So ye janaha paryupasate. See, paryupasate means to worship, upasana karna. Upasana means to worship, properly worship. So Krishna says that those people, ye janaha, what are they doing? Ananyas chintayanto mam. They are always constantly thinking about me without having any other object of thought or worship. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ye janaha pariupasate. Those people who are, serving me, or those people who are worshipping me with such unalloyed devotion. Pariupasate. Tesham. Those people. Nitya abhiyuktanam. Nitya word is very important here. For how long they are doing it? Nitya. Nitya means eternally they are doing. Always they are doing. Always they are meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. Always they are, engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Right? Always without, deviation of mind, they are always constantly thinking of the Supreme Lord. Right? Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam. Abhiyuktanam. Yukta means to be together, you can say. Abhiyuktanam means to be fixed. To be fixed in devotion to the Supreme Lord. Nitya abhiyuktanam. They are constantly, they are always, fixed in devotion to the Lord. Right? So now Krishna will say that, what do I do for them? So now, so far we saw the definition of a pure devotee. Who is a pure devotee? A pure devotee is somebody who is ananyas chintayanto mam, Krishna says. He always constantly thinks about Krishna without deviation. His object of worship is always Krishna without a deviation. He does not go here and there. He simply thinks of Krishna and he simply has dedicated his life for Krishna. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha pariupasate. Those people worship me properly. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam, and they are always engaged, in devotion, in devotional service. And for such people, ye janaha yoga kshemam vahami aham. Krishna says. Krishna says yoga, for such a person, right, who is doing all these things, for such a pure devotee, yoga kshemam vahami aham. It is very important. Krishna is saying that vahami in this verse, vahami means to carry. Right? Aham means I. Right? In Sanskrit, aham means I. So Krishna is saying that I carry. Right? Vahami aham means I carry. Okay? What do Krishna carry for such a person? Yoga and kshema. Two things. Now yoga means whatever is required for that person. Yoga. And kshemam means protection. So Krishna says that I personally, for such a person who is constantly thinking about me, who is always nicely engaged in my devotional service and always fixed in devotion to me without any deviation, I personally carry whatever he lacks, yoga, and I personally protect whatever he has, kshemam. Vahami aham. Such a beautiful verse. Now, in this verse, both of the things are there. What the devotee is feeling for Krishna and doing for Krishna, and what Krishna is feeling and willing to do for the devotee. Both the things are discussed here. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. It's a very, very beautiful verse actually. And if you take, the scriptures, the Puranas and Itihasas, you see that, there are innumerable examples for this. Say, for example, the Pandavas, when Draupadi needed protection, Krishna was there. Right? In the Srimad Bhagavatam, you see, when Gajendra, he was in a trouble and he was remembering the Supreme Lord, It is said that Krishna appeared even before his Garuda reached there. They both left from Vaikuntha at the same time, but Krishna reached there first. That is that is how much Krishna cares for his devotees. When it comes to Prahlad Maharaj, the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with examples. You see that how Hiranyakashipu tries to torture Prahlad Maharaj in many, many different kinds of ways, but Krishna is always there to protect him. And even towards the end, Shukadev Goswami very beautifully he describes, the Narsingha avatar. He says that why did actually Narsingdev come? So in that particular verse, actually Shukadev Goswami says, Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshu akhileshu chatmana adarshanatyadbhutarupam udvahan stambe sabhayam namrugam namanusham. Shukadev Goswami says that Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam. Why did the Supreme Lord appear? Killing Hiranyakashipu and all those things, they were external. The real reason is Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam. Nijabhritya, the pure devotee, the pure servant of the Supreme Lord, Prahlad Maharaj. He said that the Supreme Lord is present in the pillar also. So the Supreme Lord had to make it true. That's why the Supreme Lord appeared. Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam. Vyaptim cha bhuteshu akhileshu chatmana. And also one more, Krishna is very smart. One more devotee's, words he made true. Like Krishna could appear in any form as he wished, right? But still he remembered, Brahmaji also told this fellow about that Vardhan. He gave him a boon. So Krishna made sure that that condition is also fulfilled. Satyam vidhatam nijabhritya bhashitam. Brahmaji is also a devotee of the Supreme Lord. You see, vyaptim cha bhuteshu akhileshu chatmana adarshanan atyadbhutarupam udvan. Nobody had ever seen such a form in this world ever before. Such a form he took. It was a very wonderful form. Atyadbhutarupam udvahan. He came. Stambe sabhayam namrugam namanusham. It was neither a human nor a mriga, nor an animal. Such a form he took. So beautiful Krishna is. When it comes to, protecting the devotees or, preserving what the devotee has, giving him yoga and looking after his kshema. And Krishna is so personal. You see in this verse, Krishna is full of energies and potencies. He can, by his own sweet will, he can do whatever he wants. But still, in this particular verse, when Krishna is speaking to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna uses the word Vahami Aham. This is very important. You see, Vahami means to carry and Aham means personally. Krishna says, I personally carry. Not that somebody, carries it. No, I don't make anyone else carry. I personally carry. I personally care for them. I personally reciprocate with them. By preserving what they have and protecting, and providing what they lack. I personally do it. That is what Krishna is saying. That is why I was saying it is very important to understand that Mam there refers to the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. The absolute truth is actually a personality. It is very important to understand. That is when these verses will reveal its real meaning. Otherwise, why would Krishna say is Vahami Aham? Because it shows that Krishna has a personal relationship with each and every devotee. Right? So there are innumerable examples to, support this particular statement that Krishna is making here in the Bhagavad Gita. The scriptures are filled with examples. Now, in this connection, Prabhupada, towards the end of the purport, actually Prabhupada gives the meaning of yoga and kshema. He elaborates. And he says that, yoga means actually, the Supreme Lord, he provides for, the devotee in such a way that the devotee gets back to the Supreme Lord. That feeling intensifies. Right? Prabhupada says that actually the Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. Prabhupada uses it. It's so beautiful. And when the devotee becomes fully Krishna conscious, at that time the Supreme Lord protects the devotee from any kind of fall down, into this miserable conditioned life. That is what Prabhupada calls it is Kshema. Right? So yoga and Kshema, both the things actually Krishna looks after. In this connection with this particular verse, actually there is a very beautiful story. This happened in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, there was a Panda. His name was, the priests in Jagannath Puri, they are called Panda. So there was a Panda in Jagannath Puri. His name was Arjun Panda. So he was also known famously as Gita Panda, okay, in Puri actually. Why? Because he was very fond of reading Bhagavad Gita. He would read Bhagavad Gita for hours and hours in a day. So at times, he would just not even bother about his material condition or he has a family and all those things. He was so attached to Bhagavad Gita and Lord Jagannath. So once actually some kind of a disaster happened in Puri, because of which people were not really getting food and all these things. But actually our Gita Panda, he was very, jubilant at that point of time, because he was thinking that, oh, I don't have to go out, I can stay at home and I can read Bhagavad Gita. Like that he was thinking. So he started reading Gita, and after a point of time, his wife and all, they were so furious. They came to him and she told that, what are you doing? We all are hungry and we don't have anything left. What are you doing? And you are not even getting something for us. You are just sitting here and reading Bhagavad Gita. At that point, this Gita Panda, this Prabhuji, he made a very beautiful point. He actually quoted a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. And that verse was this. Ananyashchintayanto mam ye janaha pariyupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. He was saying that you don't have to be, so worried about all these things. You have to just do bhajan of Krishna. And Krishna promises, Krishna has promised that yoga kshemam vahamyaham. He will actually, preserve what you have and provide for what you lack. You don't have to worry. Just think about Krishna, he will do it. Like that. And she was very upset and, very mad. She actually took something and actually striked off this verse 3 times in the Bhagavad Gita. She was very furious, not very happy with what actually he was telling. And later that night, they both went to sleep and somebody actually knocked on the door. So this wife, this Mataji, she came and actually opened the door to see 2 little boys actually. 2 little boys were there. They were actually carrying, great, like many food stuffs and all these things they were carrying, with grains and all those things. And they came and they told that we are actually someone who is a friend of this Pandaji. They actually gave us all these things and told us to personally deliver it to you. So we have come to deliver. And this Mataji, she was very happy looking at this. And she told that, okay, but you don't go. You sit here. You first have some prasad with us. I'll cook it very fast. You have some prasad with us because you came so far for us, that for serving us. We want to reciprocate like that. So at that time, one of the boys, he told that, oh no, actually, my tongue is actually, cut. It has a cut. Somebody has cut it. So I can't really have prasad. So we have to go back. So these both little boys, they were brothers and they went back. And by this time, actually, this Arjun Pandaji, he woke up and he came. And this Mataji, she told that, oh, see, so many things have come to our home. And he told that, okay, but from where did they come? And she narrated the whole story that, there were 2 boys, they were brothers, and they came with all these things. So he told that, didn't you ask them that you don't want prasad? So she told that, yeah, I told them, but there was these two boys. One of the boy, he was very, white complexion, the complexion almost like, it was, the color of the milk, white like milk. He was complexion like that. And the other boy, he was dark. So this dark boy, she was telling that this dark boy, he was telling that I have cut on my tongue, so I cannot really eat. And he had shown his tongue, and he, it was cut at 3 places on the tongue. So immediately Arjun Panda, he realized that, oh no, these boys are not ordinary boys. They are actually Jagannath and Baldev. They have come to us, and she also realized her mistake. So actually, because she had struck this verse 3 times, it had actually put 3 cuts on the transcendental body, transcendental tongue of the Supreme Lord. That's what Krishna wanted to convey. So because Krishna told in this verse that Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, that I personally carry what you lack, but you actually cut my tongue only, with which tongue I told you. That's what Krishna wanted to show her. And after that, they rushed to Jagannath Puri temple to seek for forgiveness. And when they went there, they saw that on the lips of Jagannath also 3 cut marks were there at that time. So this verse, it is very special, because this shows the personal relationship that Krishna has with his devotees, how much Krishna cares for his devotees, that he personally does all these things, right? So we'll also pray that someday or the other we can, re-establish that relationship with Krishna and experience Krishna profusely day in and day out, and 24 hours let us be engaged in his service through Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. This is Navvida Bhakti, which is recommended by Prahlad Maharaj. By all these ways, let us be, completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord, and, we can make our life successful by following this verse. And that's how Krishna will personally come and, embrace you. And like Prabhupada said, the real meaning of yoga and kshema, that Krishna will provide the devotee to become more Krishna conscious, and Krishna will protect the devotee from not going away from him. So let us pray to the Supreme Lord that those auspicious days, they come in our lives too, and chant the holy names sincerely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you.